For me, someone who used to be friends with Wendy, work with Wendy, and having a front row seat to a lot of the abuse I saw her endure, I'm just happy that she's finally free.
How was that called?
Wendy Williams and Tina Turner are two icons who have overcome enormous obstacles, public pain, cheating scandals, and domestic abuse in the midst of phenomenal success and adoration from the world at large. Both women have endured private pain and remain with controlling, domineering, emotionally, psychologically, mentally, physically, and spiritually abusive spouses while continuing to entertain their audiences. Both women were destined for greatness and probably would have achieved greatness without the men whom they ultimately married and found themselves under the control of. We'll never know. Today, we'll look at how these two men, Ike Turner and Kevin Hunter, controlled, humiliated, and manipulated these two women, and how in spite of it all, these two superstars left the abuse and lived their lives on their own terms. Let's start with Tina. Tina Turner was born Anna Mae Bullock in November 26, 1939. She was born in Nutbush, Tennessee, to a single mother. One night, Tina Turner went out with her older sister to a nightclub and, by the urging of her sister, began singing. And lo and behold, Ike Turner, who had his own group, the Kings of Rhythm, found her and loved her voice and asked her to join the group. This was in 1957. In 1960, she debuted as Tina Turner with the hit duet single, A Fool in Love. Now, during this time, Tina was also experiencing abuse from Ike. Ike was a very controlling man, but he was also a very smart man. He and Tina went to the top. They had hits such as It's Gonna Work Out Fine, River Deep, Mountain High, Proud Mary, and Nutbush City Limits, before finally disbanding in 1967. But before she disbanded, Tina put up with a lot of abuse. Ike was notoriously a cheater and also highly, highly abusive. Trigger warning, I am going to show scenes from the movie What's Love Got to Do With It. Many know about Tina's abuse, but Tina has said this was a very good depiction of what she actually went through.
But they all sound like the same, you know?
What? I ain't hear you. What you say? I ain't hear you. I ain't hear you. What you say?
I said, I mean, not exactly, you know? I mean, but you do have your own style.
Wrong style, what's wrong?
I promise you wouldn't. You know it, please.
Where you going? Come back. Hey!
Hey! Don't get that on you!
Hey, all right now. Shit.
Oh. Hey, that's it for me.
Many women have gone through abuse and understand exactly what she went through. But Tina Turner remained strong and decided she was going to give Ike back what he had been giving her for decades. She went on ahead and filed for a divorce. She had had enough. And you can't keep a strong woman down forever. This woman got her strength back. And of course, these are clips from movies with Angela Bassett, who played Tina Turner, but you get the idea. She burned it all down. She walked away. She let it go. Now, years later, Ike Turner was asked about the abuse, and he did actually admit it. Now, most abusers never fully admit to abuse, and there is always blaming of the victim. In 2007, Ike Turner did an interview with Jet Magazine as well as Roseanne Barr, and admitted that he'd punched, slapped, and kicked Tina, but never ever admitted to actually beating her. Tina Turner, however, went on to make one of the biggest comebacks in history. She ended up making an album in 1987 called Private Dancer. That album spawned songs such as Private Dancer and What's Love Got to Do With It. She did pretty well for herself. And no, she probably never needed Ike to do it anyway. Let's move on to Wendy Williams.
This has been a year from hell.
My story is my story.
When Oprah Winfrey left television, we didn't think there would be anyone who could replace her. But lo and behold, there was Wendy. Wendy Joan Williams was born July 18, 1964. She was a beautiful young teenager, but growing up, she didn't feel attractive. She was taller than everybody else, and as she said, bigger than everybody else. But that didn't stop her from going to college and graduating from Northeastern University in Boston. She had the intent of becoming a television anchor, but less than a month after starting college, she switched from television communications to radio because she could advance her career faster. Wendy was up and coming in the world of broadcasting, and she'd married, divorced, and was on the market for love. While hosting a kids' skating party in New York City in 1994, Wendy Williams would meet and fall in love with Kevin Hunter. The two fell in love quickly and within months of dating became pregnant with their first child. Unfortunately, Wendy would suffer a miscarriage at 5 months, but the two married and became pregnant again before she gave birth to their son, Kevin Samuel, on August 18, 2000. Kevin quickly saw Wendy's potential, and he knew she was destined for the top. Kevin Hunter always dreamed of working in or around the industry. Moreover, he was deeply inspired by stories of young urban executives and their climb to riches, which were often published in magazines like Vibe and The Source. Pretty soon, Kevin was taking control of Wendy and her career. She had already been on radio, but he had bigger dreams, and Wendy did too. But it was his idea to get Wendy on television, and pretty soon, the two were in talks. Debmar Mercury had been looking for someone to make an impact on daytime television similar to Oprah. They found Wendy, the rest is history. In 2008, The Wendy Williams Show was launched. Wendy Williams became a huge star. Now, a lot of people knew Wendy from radio, but now you could see her every day on TV. Her famous moniker, "How you doing?" And everything about Wendy was just wonderful. I mean, beautiful. She was unique. She was one of a kind. There's no one like Wendy. Wendy would sit on the show and entertain the world and interview some of the biggest people in the industry. Here she is with Kevin Hunter walking down the street in New York City, and she always seemed to be the type of woman who just wanted to be married. Her parents had been married forever, and that's what she wanted. And it certainly seemed that Kevin was happy. However, what happens in the dark comes to light. And there was a mistress. This mistress came out, and her name was Sharina Hudson. She was a woman who'd been with Kevin for over 10 years. And Wendy tried her best to diffuse the situation, even flashing her wedding ring on her show and saying, "I'm sticking by my guy, and everything is well in Hunterville." But it wasn't. Sharina and Kevin were all over the place, all over the news, and you really couldn't escape it. Wendy became the news.
Yeah, if you ever cheat on me again, Kevin, I swear, and I promise you, you will lose me.
Now, you'd think that things couldn't get worse, but they did. This man is Avion Fallstar, a singer who was actually on the Wendy Williams Show. He did an interview with Tasha K, alleging that he had had a gay affair with Kevin Hunter. Things were looking really bad, and Wendy had had enough. You really wonder how much someone can take. And then this happened. Things were quickly beginning to unravel. There were also allegations of domestic violence, physical abuse suffered by Wendy Williams by the hand of her husband, Kevin Hunter. His own mother came out and said this. If things couldn't get any worse, Kevin Hunter's own mother, Wendy Williams' mother-in-law, came out and did an interview with Boss-Up magazine where she says that she herself witnessed abuse her son was inflicting on Wendy Williams. She says that she saw Kevin choke and kick Wendy down the stairs. Soon, even more allegations of physical assault would come out when her former collaborator Charlemagne the God said this.
For me, someone who used to be friends with Wendy, work with Wendy, and having a front row seat to a lot of the abuse I saw her endure, I'm just happy that she's finally free.
How was that call, Charlemagne?
We did speak on the phone for a very long time. I mean, it was just good for us to clear the air on a lot of things, and I wish her the best. She got a lot of healing to do, and I'm all about healing and letting go of toxic people in your life, and I think when you let go of toxic people in your life, that's a big step in loving yourself. So I hope she keeps going. And
What did
also,
y'all talk about?
I also know that in times like this, people need support and love, so I have no problem showing her support and letting her know I'm here if she...
Further humiliation. Once the news of the pregnancy and the baby came out, Wendy dissolved the marriage. Now, Kevin Hunter had the police called on him twice. The police were called out to the Williams-Hunter mansion because, well, two occasions. First, someone close to Wendy said that they believed Kevin was poisoning Wendy. The police wanted to speak to Wendy alone. Kevin would not leave her side. To me, that sounds very, very fishy and abusive. Another time, Kevin himself called the police. He said that Wendy was throwing out his items, out his belongings. He called the police. He wanted it to stop. Kevin is a very, very classy man, ladies, as we all know. He's the type of man that you want to date. You want to take him home to your family. Anyway, he is with Sharina, and two people couldn't deserve each other more. I will say this. He has a child. I'm not going to mention the child's name. I have said in my last video that Wendy was faking it. Of course she's ill. I know she's ill. My point was that she was playing it up so that lawyers and judges would see she's sick and she ain't got to pay Kevin. Here's Wendy.
This has been a year from hell.
My story is my story, but it's even more dramatic when it was, acted out for 2 hours. And 2 hours might not have been enough, but we did the best we could. And then the documentary, the one thing that I said about the documentary is please don't let people sugarcoat their responses and their revelations regarding who Wendy is, who she was, and what they saw.
Such abuse, and so strong, such a survivor. So, you guys, I used to manage a domestic violence shelter. I know abuse when I see it. Wendy is a classic case, but she's also, like I said, a survivor. This is her in 2022, and she looks stronger, she looks healthier, she looks determined, and I'm just happy to see it. I'm happy to see any woman come through and survive and be able to talk about it once she has made it to the other side. And that is also why I admire Tina Turner so much. I've admired Tina since I was about 12 years old. That was a long time ago. All right, you guys. Anyway, my name is Vida. Like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. I will come back with another one. And in the meantime, everybody, take care of yourselves. Have a good day or a good night. And I'll see you in the next one. All right, guys. Bye-bye.